Good afternoon. How's everybody there? How's everybody doing today? Well, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning to wherever you are. Here we go. Going on another day of driving to work. Let's see. It's 1:24. 69 degrees outside. Nice little breeze going here in California. How's everybody doing this afternoon or morning or evening? Hello. Who's in here? I can hardly read this. Arlene or something. I'll be reading the chat afterwards. I'll be right back. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, everybody. Okay. Hello, everybody. Here we go. Hopefully, everybody's doing good. Let's see here. How's everybody doing today? So it's 69 degrees here. It's 1:26 p.m. here in California. And we're going to be on the road again. So, here everybody. Ah, look at that. Avocados. 20 for $5. I love it. I can get them anytime. They sell them on the side of the road. They're pretty good. Avocados from Mexico. Mexico, of course. Well, let's see here. Okay, so now you guys can see the view I'm seeing. Nothing but fields. Well, let's see. I was talking about working at the hospital. You know, so I did that. Then from that hospital went to work at another hospital, and it's never a dull moment at the hospital. You always get these crazy people. They're always trying to trying to do something you're not supposed to, you know. But yeah, it was sometimes, you know. I remember this one time they had this guy that they brought in, and he was a prisoner. And this guy, he's like huge. I mean, he was over 6 feet tall and weighed like probably 400 pounds or something, you know. And then they wanted to send people to go take care of him because he's going to be transferred somewhere else. And we told him, you know, hey, you better get somebody, you know, more than one person, because if you put just one person down, this guy could just pick him up and just toss him. He was a big guy. So they transferred him, and then you know, they called me. I knew who it was, so they called me. Hey, you know, we need you to go do a bed watch. I'm like, bed watch? Well, it was at least 90 miles away. And I said, oh, well, you guys gonna pay for the mileage, or are you gonna give us a vehicle to drive over there? So, oh, no, you're gonna drive in your own vehicle. And I'm like, well, what about mileage? And then they're all like, oh, well, you know, well, yeah, we'll pay for it. And I'm like, well, I want to get paid before I go, because I know how they were. You know, later on they don't want to pay. So they're like, oh, well, we'll call you back. And they didn't call me back. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I had my normal spot at the hospital anyway, so this was just extra. I said, nah, no thank you. Because they always try to get away with stuff, you know, not putting two cards, you know, when you're supposed to. That way they make more money. But yeah, I did it different. I also worked at driving around, taking care of the schools, you know, all the schools in the school district. 8-hour shift. I mean, it was, you know, it was crazy, because what they wanted us to do in 8 hours was there was no way. You know, you needed probably two people, you know, two drivers to do different sections, because there was too many schools. And if you got an alarm from one school, if you go to the other one, there went the time, you know, and so you always wanted you know, more time. But then there was one time. Then there was an alarm always at this one school. The alarm was messed up because it always went off at midnight. Always went off. Low battery. They never fixed it. So I always like, you know what? It's gonna go off. You know, that alarm again. And they're like, oh. Then there was another one that the signal is, once I pass it, then it's fine. But yeah, the air conditioning kicked on, and the flag was right by the vent. So of course the flag starts moving. You know, that's motion. So there's the motion detector going off for the alarm, and I'm like, okay. So I said, that's it, you know. So I took the flag down, rolled it up, put it on the teacher's desk, and left a note telling them, hey, I took down the flag because the alarm keeps going off. You know, so I think after that, pretty much never had a problem anymore. I don't know if they moved the flag to a different spot, you know, where the air conditioning is not going to be moving it so much. But yeah, I never had another call from that one. You know, and you know, it was pretty crazy because the amount of time they give you. Yeah, and then you had to check all the doors, you know, make sure they're locked. And then it was fine at first, but then later on they had a bunch of cutbacks on the teacher and the school. So a lot of the cleaning people, the janitors, they usually close and lock up all the gates for the schools. But they cut back on their hours, so you know it's like, okay, well, they're gonna cut back on their hours. They're not gonna pay them. So they were like every other day they would work. They would leave early pretty much. They would work, but they would leave early, so then they wouldn't lock the gates. So then that was more work for us. So we had to go lock all the gates. Then after locking all the gates, and some of the schools you lock the gate, and then they had like each row had two gates. And then you had to check all the doors. It was crazy what they wanted us to do. But hey, that's they don't want to pay. They're always trying to pay the least amount for security. Minimum wage is what we got paid. But of course, the company that we work for, of course, they're getting paid more. Because I remember when I first started the hospital. We were making like minimum wage was back then was like 6 something an hour. Then it went up to 7 something. But then all the nurses are like, oh yeah, they think we're making like 20 $30 an hour, and then to top it off, they think that we're gonna take a bullet for them. It's like, we always tell them, it's like, we'll dial 911 for you. It's like, we have no weapons. It's like, what we're not supposed to attack anybody unless we got attacked. Basically, I always tell you, to go where you're safe and call the police. It's like, and then the funny thing is, I didn't know this, but like say somebody's in the parking lot of the hospital, and they start getting a heart attack. The nurses and doctors can't go out there and help them and bring them into the hospital because they're basically, it's not part of the property. So basically what they have to do, they have to call an ambulance, either an ambulance or maybe the fire department. And then the fire department, when they get there, they can bring them into the hospital, to the emergency room, and then they can be taken care of. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. But if you're inside the hospital and say you collapse in the hospital, of course there's nurses and everybody, and doctors all there. So of course they're gonna help you. But yeah, if you're outside in the parking lot, you're in big trouble. You would think you're right there close, so close to get saved, but yet they're not going to save you because it's all it's part of their. If something happens, then they end up getting sued, and not the hospital because it's not on hospital property. Parking lot, they don't consider it as their property, or anything like that. And then you have I remember one time there was so we got a call that, well, get ready because somebody was bringing a baby, from they were coming in the car, so we're basically make sure that they can get to wherever they have to get. They come into the where the ambulance is parked, the emergency room, passenger seat. Everything came out. I feel sorry for whoever had a clean mess in the car because it was all over the car. The floor. Youngest child. And I saw all that stuff that comes out. Different colors. I was like, hey, kept calling the nurse over and going, hey, is this normal? Is this liquid coming out normal? This color is, oh yeah, that's normal. That's normal. As long as you don't start seeing like blood completely, pure blood coming out, then you would have to worry about it. But yeah, and So the lady got there, and then the nurses went out there, and she still had the umbilical cord, connected to the baby and everything. So he was still receiving, nourishment from the mom, and oxygen. So pretty much it was gonna be okay. But yeah, so then they made it okay. The baby made it and everything. But yeah, I mean, it's sad when you see babies come in. They're trying to save their lives, and some of them don't make it. Because the parent decided to wait too long. I mean, or that they're allergic to something, and you don't have one of those, those EpiPens. I remember one of my cousins, her son, he was like that. They had an EpiPen because he was allergic. And he wouldn't be able to breathe, and everything would like swell up in his throat and everything. I mean, he had everything that he ate. He had to read whatever was in it, because they were in certain colors, like red or green, whatever food coloring that they put into the foods, like cereals, especially cereals, anything with peanuts or anything. That's the thing. People understand. Just because even if the processing, comes in contact with like peanuts. Like they even I've even seen people where the girlfriend she's allergic to peanuts, and then the boyfriend eats peanuts and then gives her a kiss, and just the whatever is in his mouth, if he doesn't wash it or rinse it out, that can cause a real bad reaction. So and then and then also at the hospital we also had helicopters. They used to land on the roof, and you get the helicopters land on the roof. We have to help the people that come down and get the patient. We go with them up to the top and then help put them onto the helicopter. And then the thing is, with helicopters and airplanes, everything is by weight, because the helicopter, it can carry a lot of fuel, but then if it has too much fuel, and say the patient weighs too much, it won't be able to lift off. It will never be able to lift off. So sometimes the helicopter would like circle, just to burn off some fuel, and and then they would get everybody's weight, because they already had the weight because it was the pilot and two nurses on the plane, either male or female, and so the helicopter, and then plus the patient, there was no room for like, oh, I'm gonna go with them to whatever hospital they're gonna fly them to, so we're like, they call us, hey, helicopters coming in, or especially like time when, like in October, from Halloween on all the way through past, like almost to New Year's, it was always busy, because everybody from all over the world or wherever, they'd come to the desert, with their motorcycles and everything. I mean, they even have ambulances parked at the place over at the desert. They got like 5 ambulances just parked there waiting for patients, because people are idiots out in the desert. They don't, there's no stop signs out there. There's no real, I mean, there's kind of like, I guess, I've never done it. So I just hear what other people have told me. There's kind of like, everybody kind of flows one way, but then there's always this idiot that's flowing the wrong way, and boom, crashes into somebody, somebody with a motorcycle into a car, one of those dune buggies or whatever. So then they break their legs, or even worse, get impaled, with something. So, we always got patients from the desert coming in, Or one time they had a bunch of people from the fields coming in because what happened, you know, in the fields when people are picking, you know, vegetables, and then there's certain fields that the airplanes or whatever they use or helicopters, they come and fumigate. You know, they go over the fields and they spray it for bug, you know, kill the bugs or whatever. Well, the thing is, I guess somebody gave him the wrong field, or he basically hit the wrong field. There was people there, and he sprayed all these people, so they all started gagging and choking. So they brought them all into the hospital, you know, because of the reaction of the spraying. So, you know, you got all these people that can't breathe, getting rashes and stuff like that, you know. So, you know, you get some of those patients. Then one time we were like, and we always said, you know what, don't ever say that. You know, everybody saw like, because everybody would go, you know, it's boring. We always said, don't say that, because once you say that, it doesn't become boring after that. And one time, one of the guards, yeah, it's boring. And I'm like, oh man, why'd you say that? You shouldn't have said that. And it was like in the morning, like about 10 in the morning. Then all of a sudden, you know, we get a call, you know, hey, that a bunch of ambulances were coming in, a bunch of helicopters were coming in with patients. Because I guess immigration was chasing a bunch of illegals, you know, and immigration, you know, they all, we don't, yeah, right. So these guys were going over 100 miles an hour, and they flipped over, and there was like 14 people in the vehicle. It was a van or an SUV, but they were all in there, crammed in there, and they all, you know, even the guy. Even the immigration officer, you know, because he's trying to stop them, of course, you know, what does he do? He hits them, and he flips, and they flip. Everybody was, you know, so they brought him in, man. I think they brought like 7 patients to our hospital, and then 7 patients to another hospital nearby. And you know, they were coming in, and they were getting them as you know, as good as possible. And then they had to fly them out because they were in bad shape. So they had, you know, we were okay for certain trauma, but then like really bad trauma, they had to be flown out to another hospital, you know. And so then here we are, you know, hey, another patient, so going up to the helicopter, flying that person out. Then another one. I mean, pretty much 6 hours that were left on our shift. I mean, we were up there flying, getting him on the helicopter, flying him out, you know, pretty much all shift. And then you know, and then immigration wants to get in, you know, into the emergency room because they say, they want to take the patients in custody. But the thing is, they're not allowed in there unless they're saying that, okay, are you arresting, you know, because they ask them, are you arresting these individuals? Oh, no, we're just going to be, oh, well, you can't, you know, there's that's a HIPAA violation. You know, you can't, even if they're illegals, you know, you still can't break hospital protocol. You know, you can't go into their room or any information from the patient. They can't even give them if they're in there, their name. It's just like if one of your relatives is in the hospital and they don't want anybody to know, they just tell when they get checked in, hey, I don't want nobody to know. They only say a certain person and the phone number, and that's the only person that they're allowed to give any information to. Because if say you give any information out, the hospital can get sued because you know, you're giving out medical information or any information from them. And then one time, so then they flew out all those patients that we had. Then another time, there was I guess there was a shooting in one of the grocery stores, and this individual came into the store, and I guess this guy that he went to, he had like a little business inside the store. So this guy was, I guess he was his brother-in-law, because I guess the guy that was inside the store, was he was married. He was married to her. You know, he was married to the sister was married to the guy in the store. So I guess he was either fooling around on her or something. So then the brother got pissed off, and he said, so what does he do? He takes a gun in there to the store and starts scaring people. They have a standoff, police. They called everybody, FBI. Because they think it's a bank robbery. Well, not a bank robbery, but they think it's a robbery in the store. So they got all, even immigration goes over there. Everybody pretty much, sheriff, PD, everybody. Especially if nothing is happening, in the town, and they're bored, everybody shows up, action. So the guy goes in there and starts telling them, hey, and the guy, no, and then I guess he finally he shot the guy. He shot the guy in the head, and then the thing is, he shot the guy in the head, and then the police wanted to go in there, and then the guy ended up shooting himself also. So they bring him to the hospital. And then they after they bring him into the hospital, then I guess they call the wife, but the wife doesn't know who's at the hospital. And then the hospital, they get kind of confused, and then because they think they say, oh yeah, he's still alive, in the emergency room supposedly, but she thinks it's her husband that's alive, but no, it's her brother. So the situation gets like, oh my God, and then they told her supposedly that it was her husband, and then she's like, they take her in to go look at her husband, but yet it's the brother. So like she like loses it, because then now she finds out that her husband is the one that's dead, and that the guy, now the brother. So, but then the brother ended up dying too. He didn't make it. I mean, he shot himself in the head. So it was like hectic that day. And then we had another time when all of a sudden, they call us, they call security. Hey, we need security because they're bringing in a patient, and I guess he's a high risk prisoner. So all of a sudden, we're like, okay, so they want one of us in the door going into the ER, and another one at the emergency exit where they go in, where the ambulance is coming. And all of a sudden you start seeing, all these guys, coming. These guys are marshals, federal marshals. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Fugitive, with what's his name? Dang, I can't think of the actor's name. But the one that come out on Men in Black also, the older guy, and he, that reminded me of what was going on. So here's all these guys, with these guns, they got those AKs, they're all strapped. There's a bunch of them, and then there was like maybe, I'd say probably six of them, because there were six of them, because there was like two of them outside, and then two in the, and then four more were inside the room, or there was four outside and two inside the room, I believe. Yeah. And then, so then, they're not supposed to, nobody's supposed to know, that this patient is in the hospital, but you know how jail, how prisons are. Word that somebody's going to go to the hospital or getting transferred or anything like that, it gets out. I mean, prisoners, they always find a way to get the information out there, Some, they hide phones, they have phones inside, their rooms. I mean, in their jail cell, they go in there every so often, but they hide them. Sometimes they don't find them. So I guess somebody told this guy's wife, this prisoner, that I don't know, he was probably from the cartel or something, because the way they were treating him, this guy, I guess I think he was going to be a state witness or something. So somebody was going to either come and take him out, because he's gonna talk, and he should let people know. So then the wife shows up to the hospital, and then she's like, yeah. She starts, hey, my husband's in there, and I'm like, no, nobody here by that name. Yeah, he is. I know he is, and this and that. Well, ma'am, you need to leave, because you're creating a scene, and if you don't leave, we're gonna call the police department. You're gonna get arrested. Well, of course, you got all these guys with weapons outside. Come on, that pretty much tells you somebody high risk is in there. And then I told my cousin, hey, because we had radios, hey, so what's going on over there? Everything good? And told him, hey, such and such came looking for him. And then so now that happened, all of a sudden, they go, oh shit, we have to transport this guy out of here, we don't know who's gonna come. And they were gonna transport him. At first, they were gonna fly him in a helicopter. But then they found out that in the helicopter you can only have the patient and the three, the nurse, the two nurses and the pilot. So they're like, can't do that. Can't that ain't gonna work. So if he gets loose or something, I can crash the pilot, crash the thing. So they said, no, we're gonna transport him in an ambulance, and they're gonna have other vehicles following and in front, as a convoy. So then one of the guys goes, I'll be right back. One of the marshals, and I'm going, hey, so where are you going? He goes, we gotta get more vehicles and more firepower, more guns, he said. So they got more people. So I think they ended up with getting over 10, probably like 12 people came in, and they transported them out of there, wherever they did. We didn't know where they were transporting them, because they're everything's hush hush. But everybody talks. Geez, man, people don't learn. Keep their mouth shut. But yeah, I mean that was a crazy day that day. Seeing all these, I was inside. My cousin was outside. I go, shit, man, if the shit hits the fan, like if somebody comes in, like a drive-by and starts shooting everybody outside or something, he's you know, the other guys, they have bulletproof vests and all that shit. We have nothing. You know, we got our badge. Those long as we we get hit the badge, maybe we'll get lucky. You know, so yeah, it was like, it's like, oh no, it's like, so they transported him out of there, and so we were fine. But yeah, that was a crazy day there, you know. And then you get other, you always got people from the prison, they come in, and then those guys, they're always, trying to get away because they'll if they want to escape, they always, they did something to get sick so they can end up in the hospital, some of them drink stuff, so that way they have to end up going to the emergency room, try to find a way to escape. Or also, because they know if they go to the hospital, they're going to be in a bed, nice bed, getting, 3 meals a day. Nobody's going to be messing with them, and of course they're going to have TV to themselves, to the real world, especially if they've been locked up for years, It's like, they come out and it's like, oh, what the heck is this? They got locked up when they had those cell phones, they were like bricks. Now they're like little tiny phones, they're like, oh, what the heck? How to use this, But yeah, that was crazy. And then there was this other guard. They told him, he was guarding a patient, and they told him, hey, you know what, get when you take care of him, just stay to the side. He was handcuffed to the bed, but his legs were okay. They weren't tied up or anything. So we told him, stay away from, don't get too close to him. So what does this guy do? He gets close to him, and the guy he lifts his leg up and he kicks him right in the face. Boom, knocks him back. And we go over there. Hey, we told you not to get close to him. Patient's crazy. He'll hit you. And then you get those. My cousin, man. Before I got there, I remember he told me stories of some of the. You get patients that are act crazy. He said one patient was sitting on the bed. He took a dump in the bed. Then he started eating what he dumped. I was like, what? Yeah, it's like, yeah. I go, this guy was crazy, man. I guess he wanted to prove that he was crazy. So he's showing. I mean, come on, you're gonna get sick, really sick. Eating that kind of stuff. You're gonna get worse than E. coli. But yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, but sometimes we tell them and they never listen. You gotta the patient is the prisoner, but yet he has rights. The TV is his, and these guys are all like, we want to watch something else. They take away the remote. They start watching programs, and we told them, but they don't listen. So the patient, what does he do? He takes a crap, gets the stuff out of his shorts and starts throwing it at the guards. All over them. All their uniforms and everything. And we have to come in and go, hey, didn't we tell you that that's his TV? You piss him off. He don't care. He's gonna do whatever he wants. He's locked up. He's gonna get locked up. He don't care. He's gonna say, hey, they took away my TV. That was mine. So we always told them, the do's and don'ts of taking care of prisoners at the hospital. Then you get those guards that never done it before. You know, I mean, one time we had a guard. He came to take care of a prisoner, and I asked him, "Hey, so how long have you been doing security?" He goes, "Oh, today's my first day." I'm like, "Oh my god, today's your first day?" I go, "Well, you've done this, you know, at the company." I figured, no. He goes, "It's his first day ever doing security work, and to top it off, he's never taken care of prisoners." So I was like, "Oh man." So we just told him, "Look, don't talk to the prisoner. Just, you know, just hello. That's it. Don't give none of your information. Don't. He's not your friend. Don't think of him as your friend. He might be talking nice to you, but he's just trying to get you to get on his side. So you're like, hey, let me loose, you know, or let me borrow your phone. You know, I just want to make a phone call. Come on, I won't tell nobody." You know, and the guards, they're stupid. Some of them, what do? They hand them the phone and they get in trouble. Because then we find out, you know, that he called somebody. And that we always tell them, don't. And then if you need to go to the bathroom or anything, call us. We'll come and watch him while you're at the bathroom, or you need a break, or go get something to eat, because, you know, they had to eat there. You know, they would go get something to eat, bring him back to the room, and keep, you know, you gotta still keep watching the patient, because, you know, when you're in security, you don't get to go off, you know, for lunch. You basically eat on your shift. So you work 8 hours straight, but you do get to eat, but while you're working. So it's a paid lunch. So you work 8 hours, you eat your lunch, you know, whatever it takes, you know, 30, 20 minutes, you know, then you get your breaks, you know, but you know, still, you never leave. You know, some of the guards, you know, they would leave, and we're like, what the heck? Where's the guard? Leave them, you know, he's handcuffed, but still, we find out, you know, that the guard left, and we're like, where'd you go? You're not supposed to leave the property, dude. Oh, I went to go get something to eat. I'm like, no, we told you. It's like, give us a call. You're not allowed to leave. You gotta either bring your lunch, or you go buy something there at the cafeteria. You know, it's pretty much what you do. You know. But, you know, it's like no, you can't leave the property. But, you know, you always get the guards that do stupid things, and then they get in trouble. You know, and you know, so then we had another patient. I guess because they have shackles. You know, they come in with shackles, you know, their legs shackled and their hands shackled. So you always, the leg shackles, they would always pretty much stay on. But then the hand, you only take one hand, and the other one, you shackle it to the bed. You know, we didn't have handcuffs, but we had a handcuff key, because the guards, you know, sometimes they didn't have a key with them, so we had to go help them open up in case you know, so they would go take a shower, you know, because even you know, those handcuffs, even when they went into the shower or go to the bathroom, you didn't take them off. Basically, you undid that one from the bed, and that one would go onto the bar that's on the bathroom, you know, the handicap bar. Because pretty much they would get a bathroom, you know, like a handicap bathroom. And the thing is, you know, we would always tell them, you know, hey, well, give us a call if you need it, you know, you need to do that. But no, they were like always, just gonna do it. So it's like, you know, you have to leave the handcuffs on, because they you know, they're still prisoners, you know, no matter what they did, you know, you never know, you know, they could, you know, they can still, you know, attack you or something, use the chain to choke you or whatever, you know. So, you know, you always wanted to keep on, you know, on your guard. If not, you know, they'll take advantage of it. They'll escape. Believe me. And so So then we had this one, the shackles, that were on this guy's leg. One of the handcuffs. I guess that it was messed up because usually you push a button on the handcuffs, so they don't close up on you. You got to a point where you still stick maybe one finger in there, and then you push a button on it, and it locks it into place so it doesn't get tighter or looser. Because if not, this thing could get tighter and tighter, and then pretty much start digging into the poor guy's leg. I mean, he's a prisoner, but still, that's gonna mess up his leg. So then we called the sheriff department. Hey, you need to come and change these shackles, because and we tried to take them off, and it's messed up. We need a new set of shackles. This one's all messed up. Needs to get replaced. So the sheriff finally showed up, and then they're like, they couldn't get off. They ended up calling I think maintenance, and they brought this giant set of bolt cutters, and they ended up cutting the handcuff shackle off from his leg, because it was like it wouldn't come off. And yeah, they finally got it off, and then they put a new set of handcuffs, you know, shackles, because they get tossed around, those shackles. Okay, damn, the sun. Yeah, so let's see who's in here. Let's see. Hey, Annie, how's it going? Animal House, Justin. Hey, 351, RJ, Annie, hey, Odie, Mr. Bud, Odie. Hey, that's Todd. Hey, how's it going, Todd, man? Yeah, so it was kind of crazy sometimes at the hospital, but they still, it wasn't as that bad, I mean, but yeah, everybody, thanks for showing up, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're at, and thank everybody for coming and listening, and hit the thumbs up, everybody. Don't forget to share it out, and if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hey, Fluffy, how's it going over there in Australia? Yeah, and so, thanks everyone for coming in, and have a good day. God bless everyone. And as Keys always says, call your mama, because you never know. Tell her you love her. Everybody, have a good day. Bye. Till next time. Thanks, everybody that came in. Next time, bye.